This is a continuation of what in the world is this type of intimacy, which is this week we're going to be talking about experiential. These are the experiences that we have in life and why having those experiences and sharing them with our wives are so important. We're going to be talking about what is an experiential intimacy? Why is it important? And how do you actually grow those experiential intimacies? We're going to be talking about that this week on episode 245 of The Relaxed Male. This is The Relaxed Male, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to The Relaxed Male. And if you didn't catch this recording live, this is take 2 of the Relaxed Male podcast. Got about 15 minutes in and realized, oh, hey, I did not hit the record. So now, thankfully, we are recording. So, all right. So what are we talking about this week? This week, we're doing another episode of the What in the World is blank, whatever type of intimacy we have going on. And we're talking about experiential intimacy this week. Now, this whole series came thanks to the Choose Therapy post of 10 types of intimacy. And they list out that there are about 10. And there's the ones that we know of. There's the physical intimacy, which is, the hugs, the kisses, the horizontal mambos and things like that. There's also emotional intimacy, which is us just having an emotional connection. But there's also intellectual intimacy, spiritual intimacy, the experiential intimacy, which is what we're talking about this week, social intimacy, creative intimacy, conflict intimacy, which seems a little, counterproductive, aesthetic intimacy, which, almost sounds made up, and work intimacy, which, okay, it sounds like it might be something, but we're going to be focusing solely on experiential. And the reason why is because sometimes we just we focus in on one type of intimacy and we wonder, why is it nothing kicking in? Well, because a lot of times it's the intimacy that we need. That itch may not be just from physical intimacy, and it may not just be from emotional. It might be that we need a little bit of creative intimacy in there, or social intimacy, or in this case, we're talking experiential intimacy. And so experiential intimacy is something that we've had in our life for centuries. Man has used experiences to come together time and time again. From using boot camp. Boot camp was an experience that allowed men to feel as a single team, a single united team, instead of having a bunch of guys fighting together. They go through an experience of boot camp all at the same time. And so they come out on the other side with some really close friends. There's people that I don't actually talk to any of the guys from my boot camp nowadays, but I do keep track of them. I do check to see what they're doing, what they're not doing, and things like that. And it's a fun little time to see how the guys that I know have progressed through their life. But there's also the guys who I've gone whenever I was in the Navy, went through on the same ship that I was on, and have still talked to several of those guys on a nearly weekly basis. And it's, again, because we've all been through similar experiences. And so we have those experiences to base our relationships off of. So intimacies vary from time to time. And that's the same reason why you have old soldiers going to the Veterans Foreign Wars post, that go into the VFW. You have the business folks who are part of the different types of lodges and the zoo lodges, the animal lodges, and the Rotary clubs and things like that. So these are all thanks to having different types of experiences, and to be able to have something that you can relate to somebody else. And so experiences with your wife have always been happening too, from the time that before y'all got married. When you got married and you went through your y'all's life together, y'all were having experiences that y'all could actually bond over. And so you might look at like experiential intimacy as almost like a cement for the relationship. And it's a good way to understand why, when you start just kind of becoming a homebody, after the kids have hit like 12, 13 years old, and they're not really finding the parents nearly as cool. And so they would rather do other things, and you would rather just kind of sit at home and relax for the weekend. It ends up being to where you start decreasing the amount of experiences you have in your life. Those lack of experiences almost allows that cement for y'all's connection to start loosening and start crumbling and getting old and flaky. And this is why it's good to continue to date your wife. It's why it's good to continue going out and doing couple things, whether it's going antiquing because, well, the wife wants to go antiquing and you don't know why she wants to go look for old stuff, but she does. All right, fine. Let's go and let's see what they get, what type of old stuff we can use and use to fill up our house with a little bit more. And then again, it may be she's going with you and you're enjoying the time camping, and she's wondering, why do we have to be homeless people for the weekend? We don't know. These are things that us guys like versus what the wife likes. But then there's the things that you and your wife may like. Y'all maybe end up going to do museums, one museum a month or every other weekend or something, where y'all go to like the planetarium one weekend, and then the Museum of Natural History and the Museum of Cowboy Art and Museum of Osteology. And, there's a lot of different types of museums that are right in your area. I mean, we've got here in this, where I'm at in Elk City, we've got the museum, Route 66 Museum. We also have Route 66 Museum in the next town. So there's a lot of different Route 66 museums. And the next town down there, we have an Air and Space Museum. So, hey, there's a lot of museums that you can see just in your area. I know even the little town that I grew up in, they're just 15 miles away. There's the High Plains Museum. And so there's a lot of experiences that you can have if you choose to have them. You just have to be able to get out of your comfort zone to be able to do that. So why is experiential intimacy important? Because it is what allows you to have the bonding with you and your wife. Y'all can go through and find interesting art or interesting experiences. And those can be as exciting as possible or just as mundane as possible. And we're going to talk about some of the different things you can do. So how do we build our experiential intimacy? Well, you go out. It's the easiest way to do it. Find a way to do an experience. You don't actually even have to leave the house to have interesting experiences. You just have to be able to turn on an imagination and start trying to see what is it that what is it that we can do to change how we view something in our life? And that can be from, having a fire drill where you can't see. And so one person has to be blindfolded and the other one's blindfolded, and y'all try to lead each other out of the house. I mean, this is something just came off the top of my head. So, is it a good idea? Maybe not. It may not be the brightest idea, but it's just something. It's, me and the wife, we are big movie fans, or at least I am. I like the weird ones. She likes the more not so weird ones. And so there's times that we get to sit down and have a movie night, and it might be something really bizarre, and we're there's some that get too bizarre even for me, but we go through, have a bizarre movie and get finished. And she goes, well, okay, that was an experience. It's like, yeah, it's fun. And we just kind of continue on the day. It's just an hour and a half, 2 hours wasted. That's all it was. Nothing big. And so we get to have those experiences. And then we also, like I said before, we do like to go out and do museum stuff. So the biggest area for museums is over in Oklahoma City. So, and that's an hour and a half away. So it's not too terribly far, but it's a drive. And so we do those from time to time, not all the time, but we still like to go out and have the experiences of going to the Oklahoma City Zoo, or going down to the Holy City down outside of Cache, I believe is where it's at. Interesting little place. And there's a lot of experiences if you're getting around, and best place to start, just do the tourist thing. Go to a local hotel, and most of them have a rack of brochures of all the weird and funny and odd, bizarre things you can do. Atlas Obscura is another place that you can find new, interesting, and bizarre things to do in your area. Like here in Western Oklahoma, you can go down to the Wichita Mountains and see if you can find the Iron Door. There's supposedly an iron door, and behind, if you find it and you can get it open, then congratulations. There's supposed to be a whole bunch of gold and dead Indians. That's what the story is. So, so there's a lot of adventures that you can have. And our wives believe it or not, even if they're homebodies and they don't want to get out, they want to be taken on adventures. They will gripe about it the whole way, but at the same time, there's something about it that intrigues them and they enjoy it. So you might find that all of a sudden you've got a woman with a very pioneering spirit. So, but there is some things you want to understand when you're doing when you're trying to build these different experiences, is understand that your idea of an adventure and her idea of adventure, two different things altogether. Nothing's going to be sometimes you're going to have the points that are similar. Other times you're going to have points that are not similar. She's going to want to, like I said, go antique shopping, and you would like to go look at old cars at a car show. Okay. Their experiences, you can find stuff that you like out of both of them. And so you can see you can start to learn a little more about what your wife is into, and she gets to learn what you're into. And there's a lot of good, interesting things that happen and go along, but you have to be able to be willing to step out into the land of discomfort to find those new things. And so best way to build your experiential intimacy, it's a lot easier said than I'm making it out to be, is simply go do something new. Do something that you have not ever done before. So it might be something that you've talked about doing, but you've always made excuses as to why you don't need to do it. Or you may end up something she's talked about doing, but has always come up with excuses as to not do it. And so there you go. There's a place to start. Let it be messy. Let it be uncomfortable, especially if y'all are doing something that you've never done before. Say, like try to do a remodeling of a room. That if you do that, make sure you have a very strong relationship first, because me and the wife, we don't do the remodeling thing anymore. We've tried it a couple times, and it doesn't work. I've got a different working style versus her. So it's not a pretty experience, but we have gotten our projects done. It's just, usually eventually someone has to step away and take a deep breath while the other one goes and does their thing, because eventually, we're going to go through and have a bad experience. If not, if we're going to be, someone's feelings are going to get hurt. But there's a lot of different things. I mean, if you want to do something light and easy, then go. They've got crap tons of Legos out there. maybe y'all can sit down and do a Lego together. That's the same, kind of the modern version of doing a puzzle. Doing, 1,000 piece, 5,000 piece puzzle, maybe doing one of those impossible puzzles, the one where it's the exact same picture rotated 90 degrees that's a circle. There's a lot of them out there that are just really, really tough and insane. So you can get to that. You could do something along those. But there's other things that you can do, the other experiences that might even actually help you with your relationship, help you with your, with the time that you spend with your wife. I mean, you could try doing a couples retreat. Couples retreats are interesting and often provide a lot of insight that you would have never thought to look at. Another one's like getting couples counseling. If you want to make sure that y'all are stronger in your connections, or even do couples coaching. So, you want some coaching, you can always reach out to me. You can go to relaxmail.com/lovebirds and fill out and go that route. And I'd love to be able to talk with you. If you're not what you think y'all are pretty strong in that area and y'all just want to do something different and just have the experiences of trying new things, try volunteering, man. That's something that will always bring you two together because one, it helps y'all to become more grateful for what you do have. So you can volunteer. Again, I mentioned it before. You can go camping. You can go shopping. You can be her bag holder as she goes and looks around in different shops. You can also just find interesting places to go. And like I said, through Atlas Obscura, you can also go to go online to interesting areas in my town. Go on individual trips. Is something else you can do. You could go on a fishing trip, and wife can go on a girls trip. And when y'all come back, y'all talk about what the trip was like, because there's always abilities to come back together, because that's what the experiences are about. It's about the stories you share with each other and how that experience affected you. To come in to, even if y'all do go your own way, you do your camping trip. She does a spa day, and y'all come back and y'all share that. That's where the connection happens. This is why the experiences are like cement, because when you go through those experiences, even if y'all go through the exact same experience, y'all are going to have two different experiences because you're two different people. So she's going to have an experience that she's going to want to share her thoughts and insights with you on, and you're going to want to do the same thing. And that's just what happens as y'all have life together. So try going out, doing something new, doing something you've never tried before. Be okay with the fact that you may land on your butt a couple times, because it's the experience that counts. The experience allows you and your wife to come together and have a better relationship, which is the actual goal of why you go out and do things with her, so that you can live life intentionally with your wife, and your wife can live life intentionally with you. And as y'all keep going back and forth with this, y'all are going to find that your lives are becoming better, stronger, and better. I said better before, but you will have these things be stronger because of the experiences that you had. So I'm starting to repeat myself, which means that I am starting to run out of stuff to say. So we're going to go ahead and we'll call this little episode done for the week. And if you're interested in finding out more, you can go to the website relaxedmail.com. If you're interested in getting coaching, you can go to relaxedmail.com/lovebirds. And if you found anything in here that resonated with you, share the podcast out. Share this podcast with your guy friends. Let them know there's a show out there that is helping change how men look at the world, change how men approach the problems of their life, so that instead of being stuck in the poor me, I'm a horrible person, they can actually get out there and enjoy life and let their wives have their emotions and not be affected by the fact that their wife is upset for whatever reason. And they don't have to worry about trying to tiptoe and not be grumpy because, I don't want to upset the wife. Well, you'll find out that you have no control over whether or not your wife is upset. You have no control over whether your wife has no control over whether or not you're going to get upset. Just allowing folks to have their emotions and to go through that human experience of emoting their feelings is one of the more beautiful aspects of life. No matter how scary and unsure you are, you can always know that you're going to have those emotions every single time. And to go through life and try to avoid those is root of where most of our suffering comes from. So guys, with that, I want to say thank you again for listening. Y'all take care. Have a good rest of the week, and we will talk to y'all later. Till then, bye.